Hi guys, welcome to CloudForce, and this lecture is about NAT types available in AWS. As you may aware, there are two types of NAT options available in AWS. One is NAT instance mode type, another one is NAT gateway type. So basically, NAT instance is a very, much older method, and the NAT gateway is the newest method available in AWS. So let's compare these options and understand the differences. Okay, in order to understand, let me give you an idea about this NAT options. So let's say you have a region in AWS. Okay, within the region you have a VPC, created a VPC. So within the VPC, as you are aware, you can create subnets. In this example, you have two subnets. One is a private subnet which hosts your internal resources which are not exposed to internet, like database servers. Okay, so this subnet is a public subnet which has access to the internet with the let's say public IP addresses, and these servers are exposed to internet. Okay, which because it has public IPs. So let's say you want internet into instances or resources inside this private subnet. How do you get it? The best way is to get option one is to have a uh, NAT gateway inside this provision a NAT gateway in the public subnet and route the traffic through this public subnet to the internet without allocating public IPs into the internal host. Okay, other one is the provisioning a NAT instance in the public subnet and route the traffic through the NAT instances. For example, in this case, there is a NAT gateway provision here with an elastic IP, and the routing table of this private subnet has a default route to the NAT gateway to go out to the internet. Okay, uh, and the main advantage of the having a NAT is to hide these private instances from the internet. Okay, so these instances are not exposed to public, and they are not accessible from the public IP addresses. So let's compare the options that I have mentioned. We have two options. Either we can provision NAT gateway here or a NAT instance here. Okay, so there is a article in AWS. You can refer this article, and it's explained very well. The comparison is very well explained there. So let's say this is the NAT gateway options, and these are the NAT instances options. So if you talk about the availability, okay, availability, it is recommended to have NAT gateway per availability zone. NAT gateways are highly available, okay, because these are managed by AWS. If you use NAT instances, as you are aware, you have to provision a VM, and you have to manage all the failovers and everything from the NAT instances by yourself. So, but NAT gateways are highly available. It is best option is to provision NAT gateway in each availability zone to achieve the higher build release. Even though this is managed by AWS, let's say you are if you have a NAT gateway inside uh, availability zone, let's say that availability zone went down, you will lose your NAT gateway, right? So best option is to have a multiple NAT gateway per availability have to per availability NAT gateway per easy. Okay, so if you talk about the bandwidth and so you have option you scale up to 45 Gbps automatically, because you don't have to select anything in when provisioning NAT gateways. However, in NAT instances, the bandwidth are based on the instance you select. an M-type instance, or the instance type you select will be used from the bandwidth. So the bandwidth is depends on the instance type you select. And maintenance is this is as purely managed by AWS. You don't have to perform any maintenance tasks. This NAT instance, you have to do maintenance, you have to do patching and everything, because it's a virtual instance. As other instances, you have to do the general maintenance and everything, in the security as well, and the performance. So this you in the this NAT gateway, you cannot even log into NAT gateway. So this is optimized for NAT purpose only. So it is very much optimized. You don't it's because it's managed by AWS, so you don't have to do anything, and it has high performance for netting functions. So in these options, this is a VM, generally a Linux AMI that is configured to perform the NAT. It is a normal VM, the Linux virtual machines, which performs netting function. And if you talk about the cost, okay, excuse. If you talk about the cost, charges are dependent on the NAT gateways that you provision and the amount of time that you use it. Once you provision and then you start to using it, you will get charged. And in the NAT instance, the charge is like it's like the VMs that you use. Other VMs that you use, its charges are depending on the duration of the use and the instance type. And the type and size, you don't have to do anything, because this is automatically do a scaling. So you don't need to decide on the type or the size. You don't have option for that. And in that instance, you have to select the instance type and size according to your workload, according to your network requirement. You have to select the instance type. So public address, it is required to assign a public address, elastic IP address, to your gateway for netting functions. But in the NAT instance, if you have a NAT instance, you don't need you. It's not mandatory to use a elastic IP. You can even use a public IP address, like other instances. Uh, you can assign a normal public IP address without that elastic IP address. Okay. So the private also, this is get private IP addresses are also get automatically assigned to the net gateway, and here also you will get automatical assignment to your net instances. In the NAT gateway, if you talk about security group, there is no security group. You cannot do a security group attachment to NAT gateways. So let's say you have incoming, outbound, or everything will be open. So but in NAT instances, you have to do a control. You can do controlling from NAT security groups in NAT instances. Network ACLs are like these are attached to the subnets, so you can control the traffic from the network ACLs, even though you use both options are available for both NAT instances. Network flow logs also you can do a capturing. You can do is capturing in both NAT gateways as well as NAT instances. The port forwarding is not supported. You cannot do a port forwarding in NAT gateway, but here you can do a port forwarding manually. You can do it, supports the port forwarding. Another important thing is Bastion server, which is jump boxes. You are not allowed to log into the jump boxes. You cannot do SSH to NAT gateways. Here in you can do a you can use as a Bastion host if you use a NAT instances. Okay, these are the main components other in NAT gateway and NAT instances. Hope you understand. Will I let's go to AWS and do a configuration and check for for your understanding. Thank you very much.